Okay, second time recording with this new DIY makeshift teleprompter because this is the first video that I've ever done that's scripted. Let's give it a shot. What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is sikkybeats, and in this video, I'm going to take you through my studio setup. Let's go. Now, the very first thing that you see when you walk into the studio is this big desk. This desk was actually custom built for me by a master builder here in Vancouver based on a variety of design inspirations that I had gathered over a few years. One thing that I really wanted when designing the studio desk was to be able to mount a 48-inch TV screen directly in the center at a slight angle. The desk has 4 small rack mount spaces directly in the front and 2 large ones on either side of the TV screen. The TV screen itself is a very generic TV that you can easily find at any Best Buy for less than $400. It's pretty basic, but it gets the job done. Now, when it came to what computer I used to run my studio, I initially went and built a custom computer to run Mac OS X. After 1 or 2 years, I actually ended up switching over to Windows 10. The computer that I use right now has a liquid-cooled 12-core i7 CPU processor with 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM. This is definitely overkill for most people, but when I decided to build this, I knew that I wanted something that is going to be both powerful for creating music with large track counts and be able to edit these videos for YouTube. The hard drives that I have in the computer, by the way, there are quite a few of them. I have a 250 gig solid state drive and 5 2TB hard drives. Now, I know that's super overkill, but hear me out on this one. The hard drives are actually used for quite a number of things, like a sample library. One is for drum kits, one is for my sound libraries, one is for session projects, backups, etc., etc. This computer is actually 6 years old at this point, but I have yet to find a task that this beast cannot handle. It's just amazing. That being said, I do plan to upgrade this computer in the next year. If you want to see that computer build video, make sure to get that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications so you can be the first one to see that video when it drops. For my keyboard and mouse, I'm just using my old Apple keyboard with the number pad. Nothing crazy, I just like it. Slow profile, it's quiet. And for the mouse, I'm using a Razer Chroma Naga mouse with the 12 programmable buttons. This mouse is truly incredible. I love having all of my most common used shortcuts programmed to those buttons, like saving, switching between the mixer and the arrangement view, etc., etc. If I'm honest, I really prefer a wireless mouse because I prefer the overall look for a setup like this, which is why a few weeks ago, I actually decided to get myself the Logitech Mx Master 2S. This mouse is great because it has its own programmable buttons that I can set to anything I want, and the shortcuts will actually switch depending on what application I'm currently using. For example, if I'm in FL Studio, the up and down button let me switch between the mixer and the arrangement view. And the button at the top right near the scroll wheel is something I use quite a bit when I want to save the project that I'm currently working on. I've been really excited to share this studio setup with you guys for a while now, and something that I really want to do in the near future is do a studio showcase of my subscribers. Now, if you have a really dope studio setup that you want to show the world, send me an email with a few pictures of your studio, a few pictures of your gear. Set it up really nice, like, turn on the lights, all that kind of stuff. My favorite studio will receive the deluxe version of my best-selling drum kit, Paradise Cartel. If you are interested in this, check out the description for more details on where to send your pictures. Over the years, I've had a number of different audio interfaces, some from DigiDesign, some from M Audio, but in the end, the one that I ended up sticking to is the Focusrite Liquid Sapphire 56. Now, the reason why I chose this audio interface was because of the 2 liquid preamps that it comes with that emulate vintage analog preamps. This audio interface is great if you're like me and you have a lot of external gear that you use. For me, I use my vocal channel strip from ART and the Pro VLA also from ART, almost on a daily basis actually. Something that makes my life really easy is the patch bay that's on the left-hand side of my desk. I use it to route audio from one piece of gear into another piece of gear. Patch bays aren't super common in the typical bedroom studio. However, I find it extremely important to my workflow because I'm constantly plugging analog synths or multiple microphones during studio sessions. I just love that I don't have to crawl under my desk and wire cables or figure out where the cables are routing or going to, and it's just a headache, you know, it just saves me a lot of time. Speakers and headphones. I spent a lot of time at my local music store listening to different speakers from different companies. I wanted to get the KRKs and then I wanted to get the HS8s. Eventually I settled on these ones here. The speakers that I use are made by a company called Atom, and the speaker model is the A7X. I really fell in love with the speakers because the low end seemed very natural, the ribbon tweeter makes the highs very smooth and airy, and overall everything is just more pleasing to listen to. The ribbon tweeter really is a godsend here because it lets me listen to music for long periods of time without getting ear fatigue. For headphones, I've been using the Audio-Technica ATH M50Xs. I've been using them since 2013, and since then I've actually owned 3 pairs because these headphones get used and abused so much in my day. In fact, I carry a pair in my backpack, I have one in my studio. I use these headphones quite a bit as another reference point, especially at nighttime when I really can't crank my speakers all that loud when everyone's asleep. I reach for these headphones. If you've been looking for a pair of headphones to use in the studio and you don't have an audio interface or a speaker's kind of out of your budget right now, this is the way to go. A lot of people have reviewed these, a lot of people recommend these. You just can't go wrong. Now, when it comes to MIDI controllers, I own quite a few. The ones that get the most use are both from Native Instruments. My main MIDI controller is the Native Instruments S61 MK2, and my second keyboard is the S88 Mark I. Now, I went with both of these because, one, I've been a longtime fan and user of Native Instruments products, everything from their sample libraries, their VSTs, to their hardware. The reason why I went with this particular keyboard over the others was because of all the great features that this keyboard comes with, like the 2 high-resolution color screens and the ability to tweak my sounds easily right from the hardware. Now, if you know me, one of the things that I'm really passionate about is sound design, and having some analog/digital hybrid synthesizers makes that process a lot of fun for me. 2 of my favorite synthesizers that I own and use regularly are the Roland JU06 from their Boutique series and my Yamaha Portasound PSS 480. This is that synthesizer I did a video about a while back that I got from the thrift store. I actually made a video a while ago turning that synthesizer on for the very first time and making a beat with it. Now, if you haven't checked that out, I'm gonna leave it linked in the right corner of this video, so check it out if you haven't already. Hey, it turns on. Ooh, and it's noisy. It's noisy as hell. Ever tried to play a piano backwards? I actually own a few other ones that I don't use as often. One of them that comes to mind is the JP08 from Roland as well, and the Korg Mini Log, which I think is a really fantastic synth, and I'm probably gonna start using that quite a bit more going forward. Now, my studio is constantly changing, so as I grow and I build, I will very likely continue adding more gear and more synthesizers to this setup. I'm just a gear hoarder at this point. I know that this setup that you see behind me can look a little extravagant and a little bit daunting, and it definitely didn't come cheap, but this has always been a dream of mine, to have a really cool studio where I can come in and feel creative and just play with cool toys that inspire me. I spent years collecting, saving, building, and adding to this setup. One thing I want to say to whoever's watching this is don't buy everything all at once, and do a lot of research before purchasing anything, and make sure that it's actually going to get used, and hopefully in the end will pay for itself. I really hope you guys liked the studio tour. If you did, make sure to smash that thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see me making beats in this awesome studio, and turn on post notifications so you can be the first one to be notified when the new video goes up. That's it for me. My name is Sikky Beats, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.